Most of the Chinese food that we see in the West is kind of a variation of Cantonese cuisine, because that's where most of the migrants came from hundreds of years ago, from Shandong Province in the south and moving west in waves of Chinese migration from there. But if you were in China and you had to say what's the most influential cuisine for mainland China, most people would probably say the cuisine of Shandong. Shandong's a province in the northeast of the country, and it's the most influential of all. It invented stir fry, it gave us Peking duck, it gave us all kinds of dishes that we now know as Chinese food, but still it's a cuisine that many people have not heard of. I'm gonna make today a classic of Shandong cuisine, Shandong chicken. The classic Shandong chicken is kind of made like a crispy skin chicken, a chicken that is blanched and then hung and deep fried and then covered with a well-balanced Shandong sauce. Shandong cuisine is known for its balance of taste, spiciness from chilies, sweetness from sugar, vinegars, and of course savoriness from soy sauce and those kinds of things. But rather than doing a deep fried version, I thought I'd do one that is easy to do at home, a roast chicken version. Incredibly easy. And actually, you can kind of go as big or as little as you like with this. You make your regular old roast chicken, make your sauce, pour it over. If you want to go super simple, just go buy a roast chicken from the shop, make the sauce, pour it over. But I'm going to show you how to do kind of the belt and suspenders version, all of the ways to go to getting the best roast chicken and a really nice sauce to go on top. Of course, it starts with the chicken. The way that I do this, I rub it with salt and then I pour boiling water over it and then rub it with a marinade. You could do that, or you could just throw it straight in the oven as it is right now. Both ways are absolutely fine. The sauce that we're gonna come to at the end is really nice and flavorful. But I find you get a much better chicken skin if you go through at least one of these processes. You know, this is salt plus boiling water plus marinade. You could do just marinade, you could do just salt and marinade, you could just do boiling water and marinade and still get a very good result. I'll scatter some salt onto the skin of the chicken and just sort of massage that kind of to exfoliate the chicken breast a little bit. This removes any dead skin that might stop us from getting a really nice crispy skin on the chicken itself. The chickens come up quite nicely and all of these bits of kind of dead skin, not all of them, but quite a lot of them have rubbed off, which is really good for getting a good crispy skin on the chicken. So I've got some boiling water over there, so I'll take this over to the sink, pour the boiling water all over the chicken, and that's gonna tighten the skin up, hold it close to the flesh, and help us get that crispy skin we're after. Now there is our chicken that's had boiling water poured over it. You can see, even right now, see that the skin is a lot more tighter and will come up really nicely as we cook it. Very simple marinade for the chicken then. Just got some dark soy sauce, a touch of cooking wine, and some grated ginger too. But I just want the juice of this grated ginger because I don't want all of these solids that might burn on the outside of my chicken and interfere with the chicken skin that we're trying to create. So just squeeze in that ginger juice and this marinade can now get rubbed onto the skin of my chicken. Actually, you can even see in here just little parts where I haven't quite exfoliated the chicken completely, like right here. And that dead skin is stopping my marinade from actually getting onto the real skin and flavoring the chicken. So it's good to see just that little part there where I haven't quite exfoliated my bird well enough. But now you're probably wondering why there's been a hairdryer sitting there since the start of this video. Well, to make a proper crispy skin chicken, a deep fried version, what would happen is very similar to what we've done now. A bit of a coating, a bit of blanching, a bit of rubbing with salt, and then it would hang on a hook, maybe overnight, maybe in the fridge, and let that skin really dry out. That's a process that is common across many things. You know, Peking duck is done the exact same way. You know, that's hung up in generally the breeziest place of a Chinese restaurant kitchen so that the skin gets nice and dry. So then when it's roasted in those really hot ovens, you get that lovely crispy skin. We can recreate that with one of these. Just 10 minutes with a hairdryer on the outside of this chicken will give us a really crispy skin. That looks really good. It's kind of just dried the skin, looks quite dull rather than wet and shiny, and that's gonna help us with the final product. So, ready for the oven. Just throw the chicken onto a piece of baking paper in a pan. Of course, you could use a roasting pan. I've just got a frying pan because it fits the chicken just nicely. I'll throw it into a hot oven and we'll see it in about an hour. So while the chicken's cooking, I'll get on to making the Shandong sauce. Very, very simple. These are the ingredients. Just some garlic, chili, coriander, and then these 3 seasonings here. I really want to make a distinction between the garlic, chili, and coriander and these, which are black vinegar, soy sauce, and sugar, because they're there for very different purposes. These are the basis of our seasoning. We've got a sour thing, a sweet thing, and a savory thing. The sour thing, of course, being the vinegar, the sweet thing being the sugar, and the savory, salty thing being the soy sauce. And that's gonna give us a good balance of taste. So how do we get that good balance of taste? Well, it's very easy, really. You've got something sweet, you've got something sour, you've got something savory. But then if we mix it together following the recipe and then taste it, maybe it's out of whack and maybe it tastes a bit too sweet or maybe it tastes a bit too sour. But if it's too sweet, do you add more soy sauce or do you add more vinegar? You see the problem, right? But if you don't mix all 3 together and just mix 2 at a time first, you're in really good shape. I'll show you why. Vinegar going in and then sugar, and just stir those and mix them and then taste it. See, I can immediately taste that that's a little bit too sour for how I want it, because I'm only balancing sweet and sour here. So put a bit more sugar in, and that should be just about right. Yeah, really good. Now I can add the soy sauce in. The soy sauce isn't gonna have a lot of sweet and sourness, so it's not gonna affect that balance all that much. So the soy sauce can go in, and I know no matter how much soy sauce I put in, it's still gonna have that nice balance of sweet and sourness, but then when I taste it this time, now it's got that salty savouriness that goes along with it as well. Lovely. Now I add my aromatics in. Chili, garlic, and coriander. I'll just chop those and throw those straight into the bowl. And there you go. That's a pretty perfect looking roast chicken. I didn't put any oil or anything all over the skin. Because we put the baking paper underneath, we've got this beautiful kind of oily liquid at the base here that's going to gloss up the chicken really, really nicely. So just a few spoons of that over that lovely crisp skin. Have you ever seen a better looking roast chicken in your life? So our last ingredient to go into the sauce is actually the juices from the chicken. That is all their lovely, savory, chickeny flavor that's gonna be fantastic in the sauce. Stir that into the sauce. I'll give it one final taste just to make sure. Delicious. Chop the chicken, sauce over the top, a little bit of sauce on the side as well, and that's Shandong chicken.